Let's get into position for the single leg calf raise. Go ahead and stand next to either a wall or a counter. It's just something where you can rest your hand. It's really just to help you keep your balance while you're doing the movement and up on the ball of your foot. We're going to lift the leg that's closest to the surface. So our working leg will be opposite on the other side of our hand that's stabilizing. Our other hand here can either be held here at our pelvis or just down at your side, whatever is comfortable for you. This standing leg should be an unlocked knee. So it is a straight knee. Oops, turn around my mic. It is a straight knee, but it's unlocked, meaning that we're not forcefully locking the joint, okay? From here, sorry, I have to watch the slats. It's kind of hard to. Now the non-working leg that we have lifted off the ground, you want to have it kind of like dangling there, like not kind of resting on the working leg. That would make it more stable, and we want to really use this opportunity to work our stabilizing muscles and balance, right? So it's just kind of hanging there. You want to have your shoulders and hips squared, so when we lift this leg off, we don't want to kind of let that hip drop like this, right? So make sure we keep the pelvis level and the shoulders, all of this just nice and straight. We're standing nice and tall. To do the movement, it is very simple. What we're going to do is just strongly push up onto the ball of the foot, lifting the heel as high as you can. I'll show this to you from the front in a second. You're going to hold for 3 seconds and then slowly lower with control. Now the movement is straight up. Again, I'll show you from the side in a minute. It's not like a forward motion. You want to push straight up. Your head should be down here, and it then should be taller at the top. When you're on the ball of your foot, you want to feel the center of your weight kind of between your second and third toes, okay? So that way you have your foot in alignment. We don't want to be kind of pressed out with our foot or in like that. Sometimes that can be easy to do where we start going out or in, but we want to be right there, kind of more to the middle of our foot, okay? So let me do a couple more from this side, and then I'll show you from this side where you'll be able to see a couple things a little better. Hi, I'm Razel. If you're a woman like myself in your over 40s, you know you should probably be doing resistance training. You're checking into it, but you're feeling kind of overwhelmed and intimidated because you don't know how to do proper form. You're worried about hurting yourself. I create in-depth tutorials that show you how to, really trying to break it down. In addition to that, over on my website, I also cover common mistakes and variations, ways to make the movement easier and more difficult. You know, everything's a progression. A lot of staying safe and not getting injured is just doing the movement at the right level for you until you get strong enough. If you like my style of teaching and you'd like to continue learning with me, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com. Now from the side, it's going to be a little easier to see the actual movement. So here we are in position. The movement is straight up. So I'm going vertically up, not like kind of like forward, okay? Because it can be easy for the weight to shift forward. So really try to think about just being here, pressing straight up onto the ball of the foot, heel as high as you can, hold for 3 seconds, and then lower for 3 seconds. Push up. Remember to keep your weight as you are on the ball of your foot kind of around your second and third toes so that your foot is kind of flat and not kind of caving in or out, okay? So that's the straight leg version. And remember, we can do this, you know, different times. You don't have to do this all in one workout, but we can do the explosive version where it's just really fast up. Whoa, I went so fast I almost fell over. Explosive up, hold for 3 seconds, down for 3 seconds, right? Or we can do the slower version that's more about training the muscles for endurance, right? And so that would just be a more normal pace, up, a little slower, hold, and then slowly down, right? But the main thing is to really focus on getting up on that ball of the foot, heel as high as you can, and really trying to be as vertical as you can, your head going up vertically versus forward. Your body might move forward a little bit, but should just be a little bit. So that's the straight leg version. That's gonna get our gastrocnemius, the calf muscle that's closest to our skin here. Then underneath that, to get the soleus, we're gonna do a bent leg version. So basically the movement's all very similar. This one's a little harder to do right though, and I wasn't doing it right at first when I learned it, so I can kind of go over the mistake I was making. What we're going to do is we're going to bend this standing leg until we see the knee kind of a little more over the toe. You know, so for me right now, I can see my toes, and then as I bend my knee, I'm gonna make it pretty much until like my knee is, you know, kind of almost hiding my toe. I can see a little bit of my toe, okay? Now, obviously when we bend the leg here, we're gonna have to kind of adjust our non-working leg a little bit, right? So that it's not touching the ground, because we're effectively shortening ourselves even further, right? So as we do that, you know, just lift your leg a little further, and remember to keep in mind that we want to keep the hips level while we do the exercise like this as well, okay? So we're here. Let me go back to the side. So we have that bent knee, we've got our level pelvis. Now the tricky thing here is to push up onto the ball of our foot, and our head should go up just like in the straight leg version, and the bend of our knee shouldn't change. Like our knee, as it's bent, it should just stay right there. And as we go up and down, it should be that movement at the ankle. Now, when I was doing it at first, what I was doing was more kind of like bending my knee more and less. And the way you know if you're doing that is you feel like, wow, this feels like a quad exercise. And I don't feel anything in my calves. And that's what was happening to me. I'm like, Carol, what am I doing wrong? So that's what it is. If you feel it in your quads, what's happening is that you're kind of more bending your knee and then pressing your heel down, and your head isn't going up and down. So, and it takes a little while to get this. You have to think about whatever bend you have in that knee, just keep it there and really think about, okay, I am moving through my ankle. It's my ankle. Your head should go higher. My head should be going up and then down, pressing straight up. And you try to just keep the knee in that bent knee position, not bending it more or less. And like I said, the way you can kind of know is, again, if you're feeling it too much in your quads and not so much your calves. So I hope that makes sense. Let me show you from the front. I'll do this leg now. So bent knee, other leg here, out of the way. Now remember, to really feel it in the calf muscles, we do have to try to, again, I know I'm hammering on this, but we have to try to keep things going vertically up as much as possible and not forward. So with the bent knee, I felt like that was a lot harder to get. I found I was like, definitely my body was kind of moving forward and back. So you have to really try to think about up, and that kind of requires you try to keep your weight back a little bit. And you can see how that's going to work your calf muscle more, because now if your weight's back a bit, then obviously, you know, these muscles on the back, they're going to be working to lift it up, right? Versus if our weight's more to our front, what's on our front? Well, that's going to be more of our quad, right? And then that muscle is going to be working to move us up and forward. So just try to keep your weight back a bit. You know, I find that it's just like between reps, sometimes my weight would just start shifting forward more and more. So just kind of play with that, and remember that your head should be going up and down as you do the movement. Now with the bent leg version, it's going to be the same thing, where you can do the explosive fast up and down. So here we are, fast, Hold for 3 seconds. Slowly lower. Fast. And then just the more normal pace of just kind of a slow up, hold, and a slow down. You want to shoot, especially on the way down, for a smooth, controlled movement. Thanks for being with me today, ladies. Once again, I'm Rizal, and if you are a woman in your over 40s like myself, and you'd like to do full-length workouts utilizing these exercises I've been teaching, I create those as well. And I don't do them in an ugly, stinky gym. I do them in beautiful outdoor nature settings just like this, with chill music, sometimes bird song and stream sounds. But if that sounds good to you and you like my style of teaching, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com.